play some music, gonna chat a little bit, have it for about an hour, maybe more. Welcome aboard. Share it if you like it. Don't if you don't. Here is his Facebook page. Thank you, Jay Beatty, for the music. Ryan Lunn, what's up? The producer's got to get the... Dude, what's going on? Thanks for the time, man. Let me see. All the mics are up. I think the producer's doing his job.
Yep.
What's up, yo?
Thanks
for the time. Just pull that a little bit closer to you.
Pull it closer.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's good to be here. How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
My health has been struggling a little bit.
Yeah. You got hit by a couple buses or something?
Yeah. Man, my back's been really bugging me. I got an hour in today, about 6 kilometers.
What a walk?
Yeah, I got to walk or else I can't walk. I've been getting this sciatic thing.
Yep.
And I've never had sciatic before. And then, I've had my back go out, when your back just goes out and it's screwed for a few days. Well,
sure.
I get that maybe a couple times a year. But I've had the sciatic for months. And it's just, it goes, I don't know if you've ever had, it goes straight down the top of your ass, all the way down the back of your ankle. It's horrifying.
I had the sciatic that comes up here. That attaches to your face. Yeah. I had that attacked by a virus, which caused Bell's palsy to the one side of when I was a young guy. Ooh. So I know how severe and how much the sciatic nerve controls as far as the nerves go. Oh.
So I had that for about, about 3 months. I still got it, but it's not so bad now. But then my back went out during the sciatic. And then I got out of bed one day and the first step I went for, I'm like, I can't go any further. I sat back down and I'm like, oh man. And then I forced myself to get up and get dressed and go for a walk. And then I was fine for the rest of the day. So I'm like, I'll see. And then I had a friend of mine over the other night. We got salad tie together. And I'm like, I haven't walked in so long. I checked my app. I've got the Under Armour, what's it called? Map My Walk. So it keeps a historical data. It tells you how far you go, how much time it takes you.
Do you have a, what do you call it?
I wear the Whoop, but the Whoop doesn't really do anything other than heart rate.
Okay.
And then so I checked. I'm like, oh, dude, I haven't been for a walk in 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I got one in today, and then thank you for your flexibility. I had to cancel last week. I had the worst sleep ever, and this thing checks my my sleep too. It shows me when I'm in REM and deep sleep and when I'm awake.
That's a beautiful thing. I heard that. My counselor was telling me about these things and how important that is, man. When you know your levels, your percentages of how much light sleep, heavy sleep versus REM you're getting, you're actually understanding your health based on the percentages, right, of those 3 states you're in. Mm-hmm. So you can get them easy. Like, how people go and they get those sleep tests? Mm-hmm. Well, you can actually get a really good reading off those Fitbits. And you're getting a really good reading.
I don't know if the Fitbit does the sleep as well as these guys do.
Maybe it's that particular.
The Whoop is the shit.
It's the Whoop. Whoop, there it is.
And I just wanted to try it out, and I wanted to get a little bit of historical data. I don't know if I'll stay on the program because it's not cheap. The band they don't charge you for the band, but they charge you a monthly fee. Yep. And anyway, so yesterday my friend was over a couple days ago. We got some chicken Penang, and I said I haven't walked in so long, and I pull up my Whoop, and I'm celebrating 6 hours uninterrupted sleep. Like I slept well last night. Yeah. And I looked and I'm like, oh, look. Because usually now I've gotten into this mode where I sleep for a few hours.
Yep.
I get up for a few hours, then I sleep for a few hours. Yeah. So I go to bed at 11 midnight. I'll wake up at 3, 4, and then I stay up till 6 or 7. And I'm like, okay, I'll get back to sleep till 9, 9:30. Yep. And then I'm up for the day. But I don't know if that's a healthy. I looked it up and they said that, like back in the days when we were hunters and gatherers, that's how we had the big sleep and little sleep because we got stuff done that we could get done with the family sleeping back when we inhabited caves or whatever. I don't know how long ago it was.
Actually, I just had this conversation. The school system was set up for kids that their ideal times are very different. Like if school was to start at 11 a.m. and run, kids you would see the complete different change in their grades and everything. It's just we set it up which is convenient for humans as in adults, so that they go from whatever 8 to 3 or, but for them, the ideal times for them is like 11 to 4. But yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
Enough about me. What have you been up to, man?
Sleep cycles. Wow.
What's been up with you?
Lots, man. It's been, wow. What a year, huh? 2020.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a fun year. It's been a really, it's been a good year. I mean, it's been a really brutal year. It's been a brutal year, but you know, when you come through brutal things, you find, every curse can be a blessing, and every blessing a curse, right? So, you know, not to get too deep in anything COVID or really, because everyone's experience with this is different. I know that it's been hard on everybody, especially hard on small business owners and so on. Amen. You wanted me to talk a bit about me, eh?
Well, I had Frank Soda on the other day. Remember Frank Soda? I talked to him for like an hour and a half. Frank Soda used to be doing the Toronto music scene back in the 80s.
Okay.
Kim Mitchell, Max Webster, those guys. Lee Aaron, he hung around with all those guys.
Man.
Anyways, yeah, I think that when I have musicians on, a lot of the times they don't, like the people that know and watch them and are big fans and support them and go see them live and buy their records, they really don't know who they are, where they came from. So I'm always interested about, you know, where it started, where you grew up, if you grew up in a faithful home, if you had a mother and father, you know, their impact on you and stuff like that. So I mean, talk about anything.
Well, that's a you know, God, that's a long thing. But what
I have to do a whole segment on that.
But what could do is really give you kind of a quick idea was what I've come to realize through my life. You know, I'm 45. You know, and I grew up in Fort Erie, small town. I grew up with a pretty good family, so I don't have a lot of complaints. I did not grow up in a rough home. I did not get abused. I had a pretty good upbringing. We had enough. We had more than enough. I was supported, overly supported, to the point of enabled pretty heavily, just out of just pure love and support. Great parents, you know, and so, but the problem with me was that I unfortunately was born on the spectrum, and I grew up kind of with some learning disabilities that I didn't quite accept or know, or didn't really accept, I guess. I just didn't want to accept it. So they were there. I was falling behind in school growing up and all these good things. But what happened with me was, instead of ever accepting that I didn't know things, or that I didn't understand, I was too full of fear to ever want to admit to those kinds of weaknesses. And I just learned at a young age to charm and develop a style of living where I used and developed a way to use everyone around me to get through life. And unfortunately, my friend, what I've come to realize at my age was that I stunted myself from a young age. Only because nowadays kids grow up and they're like, oh, I got a learning disability, or I have this. And I grew up with a learning disability because I was on the spectrum. I had no problem socially, which everyone thought kids who are on the spectrum with ADD or things like this.
Yeah, which spectrum is what I want to say.
Autistic spectrum.
Okay, all right.
Because I was highly social, well, that's not what an autistic person is. They have no social problem. But I had all that. But then I had these other things, which was called numerology, which was numbers got all jumbled up in my head.
Okay.
I had struggled with math. I could not do math very well, so I would fall behind in math. When you go to school, math sinks into a lot of different subjects. I mean, science, chemistry. The further you go, accounting, physics, everything math becomes a pretty thing. So a good chunk of my school, I'm figuring out how to get through school through my neighbors, through charming my teachers, through everything. However, I'm a really smart person. I just am not finding that I'm a curriculum school smart kind of kid.
I think a lot of us are finding out that our kids aren't cut out for school.
I'm an expression completely of nature, and I'm a poor kid unfortunately I'm a kid on the spectrum that wants to be an expression of nature through music and art. But I grew up in a family, and I'm playing sports, and I'm this, I'm following along like a sheep. I'm doing what the humans do. I remember me as a kid, man. I'm watching TV upside down in a chair. I can't sit still, and I'm loving life, and I'm running outside, setting army men up in my yard, imagining movies, creating songs in my head as a boy, and all these things that I thought made me a strange, weird kid.
Well, you're a boy.
Hiding it from people.
You're a boy full of testosterone and energy.
And but then there's this weird thing, this autism things that I'm hiding from people. These stimming, these things, making these weird noises and having to... I'm just starting to talk a bit about this stuff.
Really?
And it's funny that we have
up.
these interviews now.
Yeah.
So I would go off and be on my own a bit, and I would run off, and I would have things to manipulate in my hands, which were for stimming, oral things in my hands.
Right.
People call them fidget spinners now.
Yeah.
And I would have imaginary worlds in my brain and all that things that where I was creating ahead of time. And I never thought of it. Oh, this is like... I'm being autistic and I'm stimulated.
Yeah. Well, how old are you?
Oh boy, as a boy, I'm doing this from as far as I can remember, from 3 all the way up to the point where I'm now going off to university, and I got weird fidget things that I'm hiding from university.
So
friends.
how old were you when you were able to explain it away with an actual diagnosis of being on the spectrum?
30s.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So, hello, addiction. You know that was coming, right? Like, there was... So, my life, and it's no big secret, and I don't really hide it because I've had, at least 5 or 6, head-on collisions with addiction, right? And I've struggled, and I've come through it, and I'm a real good person that struggles with addictive nature, okay? Because I'm a passionate guy, I'm sensitive, I'm full of soul and spirit. But what happens is I don't do well with society that much because of who I am, right? And you find that us expressive people who just don't fit, and maybe people consider us outside the box, we tend to end up isolated in our own little worlds because, but what that did to me, because I need the spirit of other people. I need to express myself. Right. I'm an expression. I really know that I'm an expression of nature, and I know that. And music was my way of communicating, to both the spiritual world, playing? Listening and meditating, and allowing my gift from God to communicate and to also hear. Also, you think about the whole, we're born, everything is starting and finishing at the split seconds. A note, bing, and ends, and another thing. Everything's starting and stopping. My soul, resurrection, whether you believe in past lives or not. My word starts, stops. Everything is starting and stopping. My songs, everything about everything is starting and stopping. And when I was born, the notes and sound, it's already there. Somebody was teaching me a note. Everything was already there. I just had to take the scale of notes, mix these notes with my intelligence, and I create a song. That's my expression of nature. And we're all trying to do that. All of us artists, those are already there. Not one of us created that octave scale or that note scale. That was there for us. We take all those, we mix them with our intelligence, right? Sounds and mixed with our intelligence, and that's called music. And that is the most beautiful expression, right? But what happens is we all get caught up in the adult human tainted world of it, which is competition and the
comparison
and the comparison of things. So I'm getting ahead of myself. But when you go back to me being this hidden autistic child who's struggling socially with these problems that he has, which is not, it's just like sensory issues. I'm good socially mostly, but then there's times when I need to separate because I get overstimulated and I have sensory problems sometimes where certain things, and I'll have these impulse controls problems that would get me into issues. But that impulsivity led me to push the envelope in my life all the way. Very much so. So by 18 and 19, Jim, I'm really pushing the envelope in my life. And if you could put it in my hand, I wanted to try it. And that meant liquid, a drug, a risk. I mean, I'm jumping off of cranes in Ottawa, 200 meters into the Ottawa River on a bungee cord. I'm like rapids. I'm jumping off of that. I'm doing every extreme behavior I could until I could find the right extreme drug. But that was all because of this inner chasm, right? You create an inner chasm when you're not sure who you are and you're not right with yourself. And that's kind of what happened with me, was growing up with this
just checking we're live.
Okay. And
sidetrack my guest all the time.
Yeah, I just wanted to express that, it's really cool because it took this, I'll get to where I mean, is it took this year of like, this giant year of like COVID and this big crossroads in my life for me to figure all these things out. But anyway, I just kind of realized that I was getting into all these issues throughout my life, from university to jobs to relationships, and then of course reoccurring addiction issues, and all these things was just me not being able to understand and deal with this spectrum, this problem I was having with myself, which led to me having self-worth and a low self-esteem. So it's a really dangerous, yucky place to be, knowing that you're worth something, but having no self-esteem because you don't get who you are, because you have this disability, but you have all these other abilities, yet you keep having this ability which is keeping you from achieving certain things. But then you achieve things. Like it's a weird thing. I think so. I always struggled mentally because I had a mental illness, but I was achieving. And then I was hiding a mental illness. So the more you hide things from people don't understand why you keep going through all these troubles, because you're not truthful. If you don't get honest and you don't accept things, you're getting in your own way. And
well, if you don't understand what's going on, then you can't really. There's nothing to be truthful about because you don't get it.
Right. It's not 2020 with the world of snowflakery where everyone's got it unique.
Now right? Kids cheer mental illness. They're like, I
got a hangnail, and they go to school and go, I'm ADD because I have a hangnail, right? Whatever it is, because to me it would have been like, when I have ADD, they would have been like, you're just hyper, shut up, like So now it's like I really did have something, and I just didn't. I just thought I didn't want people to think I had something. I didn't want to say I have something. There's something with me, because I was like a smaller kid, and I already thought I was going to get picked on for being a small kid anyway. Small, and I might be fucking autistic or something too. Like that was all too much for me when I was a kid growing up, right? Because I was hyper and I couldn't keep my thoughts straight.
Me too.
Just too much disorganization in my brain.
Yeah.
All that accumulating with this soul that just wants to shine and create and just basically write music. But like when you're a kid, that doesn't amount to anything, because everyone's saying, no, you go go do this profession and you make money and you marry a wife and you get a mortgage and you go into debt your whole life and then you die and you go, well, I'm more attracted to these authors and these Springsteens and these vagabonds and these dudes that they travel and they write music and they maybe they get married, but that maybe when they're like in their 40s, because they finally find their soulmate and they stumble upon them on accident. It's like, I'm not a conformist person. I always didn't rub with society.
These days are really, really showing us how many people conform like this without even doing their own research. It's just like, okay, the government tells me to do it, I'm down. So, in fact, I'll go over and above what they want me to do and do it.
Yeah, some people just love it. They love to fall in line, and they really do feel comfort in that, and I didn't. And so whatever that was, that just this conflictive thing happening in me my whole life,
Sally Dollar just got in. She says, I don't like the term disability. I prefer to say different ability.
Yeah,
I have several family members on the spectrum, and they have taught me the most amazing lessons.
Yes, it's called, the new term is different abled. And so that's really what it came to, is me finally just being like, okay with me, if I could really had to sum it all up. So this year hits and things are going really well, right? For me, like, music, we got venue after venue doing this show and that. I'm Embers is just finally.
Oh, I love it, man. How old is that?
The song?
Yeah.
It's a little song that just could.
Is that the one you're getting traction on? Like good
huge,
traction?
Yeah, huge. It's all over the world. Awesome. All over the world. The Indie Alliance picked it up, which is like a collection of 47 to 50 something independent radio stations and then podcasts, and then it also has like a ton of Spotify lists under them, and they go from LA to Australia, and they're all these different indie radio stations are all under this huge umbrella, and they call it the Indie Alliance.
So if you release I see the kids,
but like Snoop Dogg's on the list I'm on right now too, because if you release a song indie, it don't matter who you are. Chicago was on the list I was just on. If you release it on a label, you can't be on in the Indie Alliance for that particular month if you're in it. But so it's just any independent artists, and I've been on. Embers has been going now for 8 weeks in the Indie Alliance. 8 straight weeks. It's been in the top 10.
Nice.
And it's taken over the Georgia Songbirds charts in Atlanta, Georgia. Country is where it's finding its place, because it's kind of
middle of the road. It's kind of folky.
It is. It's
yeah.
Hey,
I don't hear country in
so
that.
The whole story was I win Songwriter of the Year at Niagara Music Awards, and Todd and Dave, luckily they put together this paid trip to Nashville for Songwriter of the Year, because Thomas Salter is from this area. Do you know Togs?
No.
Anyway,
Todd,
he had a studio in Ridgeway
for
the longest time, and he's been working for Sony, writing songs. He's killing it. Writing songs or Grey's Anatomy, Vampire Diaries. He's killing it. He's friends with Todd Brown through contracting. Something through his basement flooded. Todd sent a contractor in and saved his butt. And Todd's literally said, I owe you big time. Todd called in a favor and said, please, can I set something up for my songwriter this year? Come down to Nashville to your studio. And blah, blah, blah. And they set it up, and man, they followed through. I spent the day with Todd Salter in Johnny Reed's studio, Soul Train Records studio. Do you know Johnny Reed, the country?
Yeah.
And he sat with me in this little song that I wrote and just started to play live in a few singer-songwriter events. I went down with a bunch of songs I wrote, and he hemmed and hawed them. He was like, he goes, really? It was, I was like, ugh. And he goes, you got any more? And I go, I got this one I've been playing.
You got anything good?
Yeah, basically. No, he goes, they're good songs, but like, I don't know. And then I played it, and he goes, this is like same 4 chords over and over. He goes, I like that. I'm a pop producer. So he just got going. I come back with this song, and you know what it is? It's like a private, personal song about the rekindling the love between me and Jill, taking little getaways to the Clarion Hotel. But it's on a larger scale. It's metaphoric about people needing to get out of their homes and just rekindle their love, or on a metaphoric on a world scale, just about how we need to reconnect as humans. And I think that's why it just sunk with people, you know? Not to mention, Todd Salter's a fucking brilliant producer. And he really felt it that day. And in 5 hours, we accomplished what would take me 10 sessions with a Niagara producer.
Really?
He's like unbelievable.
So how long were you down there for?
We were there for 5 days in Nashville. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So that song's been, and now to continue on that story,
but they're going to copyright strike me if I do. So
yeah, that's okay. A lot of people know where it is. It's all over. I had a team put together while I was on the break, PR people through Doc Entertainment out of Toronto. We're partners with them, me and Jill. Amazing. Wanda Ryan and her team, Dee and Charlie was my PR team. They just went at as many contacts. They loved the song. So when people that are your PR people, they're going to push your song. But if they love it, they're going for it. And these guys went for it. And they got it all the way from Japan to Italy. They got it everywhere through Indie Alliance. So I got it all over so it was just really exciting. And it's still getting added and it's still going. And now it's picked up on all the First Nations. Now they're scattering them across through Jill's connection. And now they're loving it. And now First Nations all over Canada are now adding it to all their stations. So which is cool, you know, because all the Northern, that's the only thing they listen to in this pocket of like hundreds of people is these like this song, Embers, and Co-Pilots, my other tune from my old album. It's being added to all the First Nations radio stations all up. So, hey, I don't care. You know what? I'm at a place where, like you said, I do not care about all that anymore. I'm all about the expression, I said, of nature and of just making music this year again, and it being simply out of the love and the expression of music. And I am almost completely off social media. I got back on it a bit lately, but I have blinders on. And so what happened this year, this is pretty jumpy, but this is this is part of what I am in here. I got a lot to say. What happened was COVID hit, and I went from being booked for months and months and months ahead, knowing that I had all these gigs and all these events booked and all these venues locked in, to having none of it anymore. At the same time, I went from being, oh my God, thank you. I'm off this hamster wheel. I am off this hamster wheel of running from venue to venue, from gig to gig, from place to place, and playing.
So you mean there's almost like a sense of relief when COVID comes in because you've got a break?
Yes.
First, you're thinking,
Yeah, I was caught in this hamster wheel. But it wasn't just, it's not the music's fault. It's not the scene's fault. I was becoming resentful of the scene, of the people in it, it's not one else's fault but mine. I had become so disconnected as a human being from humans and from myself that I was seeing no beauty in anything. I was seeing nothing but negativity. I was darkened, is all I can say. Now, I get off that hamster wheel, and for the first 3 or 4 months of COVID, it was really cool. We jumped into the mask making, Lunn masks, and we were really, it was a big thing, man. We were like the mask makers for all the hospital and everything. Me and Jill was really like becoming a predominant community person, and we did that, and that was a great distraction. But all the while, I was willing to step back, and I said, Jill, I want to be in your shadow now. I don't want to be. I was trying to get across to her how sick I was without coming out and telling anybody I'm sick. I'm really sick in my heart and soul, and my mind is getting sicker and sicker, and I don't know how to tell everybody because people are like, Embers is hitting, and it's like, oh, you got a big hit song, and
they think everything should be great because
everything
you've had
should
some
be
success,
great with you. You're the busiest musician right now. Like, I was never like. Remember, like, we started our own little sub community. We everyone has their own path. Like, there's dudes that they're playing all the best gigs in Niagara that have been doing it for 20 years. I came in and did my own thing, but I was playing 4 or 5 freaking nights. And then when we weren't, we were going to our friends' gigs. We were to the point where it was overkill.
I'll give you credit for that. You've always been a guy that shows up for other people's gigs, and I've found that in the last couple decades, maybe the last decade or so, that's really uncommon. We musicians used to support each other by going out to the bar and being there for their shows.
Right.
Just be out of the love of it. And for whatever reason, times change.
You want to know what I found? It's like there are still those people that want to do that, but you know what's a bummer? You show up, and then the more you start showing up, the more that the community shows up, it's the same bullshit. They all show up and they're still going to sit in their cliques and just talk shit. So then it's like, oh, the more I show up to shows, the more I'm stuck in this community talking shit about this community. Not that that's the case for all shows and all things, but that's what I started to experience.
Okay.
Now, again, this is a manifestation of the place I'm in.
Right.
I'm in a negative place. And other people are going to have other experiences because I saw born out of the community. We had others starting to go out and really take it and run, and they started having their own really fun, good success with what they were building off of our little shows. Me, I'm going down, 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 and getting darker and darker and darker. And of course, now, so COVID starts to let up a little bit. Now Embers is just going haywire. It's on fire, pardon the pun. And I'm not getting any better. And and so what happens is as much as we smile and pretend and smoke and mirror the public, which I wasn't, but I got off Facebook. You're so hard on your inner circle. That's how it is. You get sick and you get hard on your inner circle. The people who were
closest to you. And I didn't like that anymore, and I just didn't like who I was. And I've been questioning the same thing because and I'm like, well, if I get off social media, where am I going to get my news from? Because I'm such a news
You go through
junkie.
These stupid thoughts, and you know what? As soon as I did, I just found like the only things I needed to know, the people reached out to me. I got off Facebook, and I was within 2 days, I was immediately 50 times happier.
Wow.
Now,
because you know what, I've tried just not interacting, not responding, not reading the comments.
None of it.
But that doesn't help either.
You have no idea, man.
Just being on
you have no idea how much negative fear mongering is on.
Some.
You do know. I don't mean to like. I'm not. When I say you have no idea, but I mean, just for me. Okay, so right now I have the horses who I race with blinders on. Mm-hmm. So when you see all the other horses, like I did on social media, it pushed me. Mm-hmm. In the last 5 years, you don't go worldwide on the radio because you don't watch the people around you. If I sat and gauged where I was in Niagara all the time, I would go insane in this hornet's nest of people, the snake pit. It's not that they're all snakes, and I don't mean to say that. It's just that because there's a ton of awesome people in the Niagara, and I don't want to feel that way about the scene. Was where I was getting. Mm-hmm. But if that's where you're going to gauge yourself based on people that are just working out of this scene, well then what's the point? Mm-hmm. I was always trying to think beyond that, and that's where so I start to just think and collaborate now with people beyond that because I found that the more involved you get in that scene, the more they're going to pull you down. And they're gonna, you just get too wrapped up in, and people just try to pull people down. That's all there is to it. That's just a natural.
The more successful you get, too, as you reach the top of the mountain, the more targets that are on your back, right?
Yeah, and whether you like it or not, if you put yourself out there and you do get, we live in a world where you do have to be more present on social media to be considered. And it's such a sickness that we put that starness on an image of someone, where the real beauty is that expression of art. And it don't even matter. Like I even think about the music I make, which is really middle of the road. And I know that like there's these unbelievable musicians in Niagara that are like billions times better than me. And I may have more success as far as my music going more out there. But I'm a really good writer, and I really know how to put good music together because that's what I think about. That's what I put a lot of effort, time, energy, heart, and soul into. So that's why people like it. Like I get that I get what I'm writing. I know what I'm writing for. I know the audience. I know what kind of music it is. I get it. I'm not trying to write a song that 100 people are going to like and that's going to challenge them because it's so out there. I'm writing a song that people are like, I get it. I get what I'm writing. But I also understand that I'm a pretty mediocre musician because I've come to accept.
You don't know how many of my friends say that. Matthew James Blake, Aaron Berger. I mean, these guys, I look up to them like they're genius creative geniuses in there. And Aaron's like, and it's true, kind of. And Aaron says to me, dude, I don't really play guitar all that well. I got a few chords, but I get by because I can put them all together.
Exactly. Because we know that we're like, see, I watch guys like Springsteen, Paul Simon. These guys are at heart, they're writers that want to write, and they found music as their medium. Like Jill, my wife, she's an unbelievable painter. Like I'm watching her doing these paintings. She's been hired on to commissioned to do work for the PAC now. Nice. And I'm watching her create this giant wave of water because there's this water theme she's painting, and she's creating level after level after level after level after level. And when you think she's done, she's halfway done. And I'm like, oh, so it's like my songs. And I'm realizing that we all are writing a story and we're just finding a different medium to do it. Now, so it doesn't matter. Like some of the most unbelievable guitar players, I've watched them wow me with their licks and their pieces. They can play the opening to this song and the riff and the solo off this great they can play Slash's solo from this and that. But they don't pull it all together like Eddie Van Halen and Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth and even Gary Sharon, and they'll all tell you the same thing. You go in there and he has pieces and pieces and pieces of these unbelievable, but none of it's songs. You had to piece all of Eddie's shit together. He's not a songwriter. You know what? This is why he needed these people like Sammy and David, and he put up with these people because he can't write songs. He can write pieces of unbelievable riffs, you know. But when you can write it all and you can blend it all and you can thematically piece it together and there's concepts and it means shit, that is something. You're called a songwriter. Book writers are authors. That's their medium. Like, so I'm really good at writing songs, and I know that, and I accept that now about me. And I don't pretend to be anything else. That's what COVID has done for me. I know what I am. I know that I'm autistic. I know that I'm a songwriter, and I know that I have addiction problems, and I know that I can overcome all of that. And I am. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know what I am. That's a pretty cool thing because I wake up today and I'm happy. Jim, I woke up for months and months. I woke up, I opened my eyes. The first sensation was fear.
Wow.
Fear. No, I'm not directly afraid of anything around me.
Got it.
You know what I mean? I'm afraid.
Apprehensive, stressed out.
Life.
I very seldom wake up that way, but I know what it's like. And I'm like, how? That's depression, anxiety thing.
Yes.
As soon as I open, I haven't had a bad dream.
Right.
I got nothing coming up today that's on my mind. And I wake up and I'm stressed out already. I haven't even hit the floor yet.
Yeah.
You know, it's and I consider
that's why
myself,
people don't want to get out of bed. That's called depression. What that is what happens is for me was to alleviate that was to become honest. I got honest, surrendered, and said, holy shit, man, I'm not running my life very well. You know, and I got real spiritual and I got good with God again. And I just I pray. I'm not religious. I go to church and I love it. I never loved church before.
Me either, man.
But I take some and I leave some, and I love the message of the pastors and I love walking good with God and praying. And I realized that how much my music is my direct conversation with God and that spirit, because it's there. It's
funny you say that too, because I'm horrible. I'm a horrible Christian. I'm not the worst person in the world, but I just don't. And the more deep my faith. I grew up Catholic, so I never had much of a faith. I was always a believer, but I grew up Catholic, and we were cafeteria Catholics. We went to church, and it was so church was excruciatingly painful when I was a kid. And I've always been on the hyper side too. Yeah, I was always way bigger. So people would look at me and go, act your age. Well, dude, just because I look 4 years older than your kid doesn't mean,
act your age. See,
and then I couldn't sit still. Right. And then because I was so big, they had me in these little desks. It's like prison.
So they put us in this place.
My legs would be bouncing up and down. And just let me go outside and burn it off, man.
And low self-esteem because we're hyper and we're full of that inner child that they want to drown out of us. See, just because we grow up, and we're allowed to grow up, but why do we have to kill the inner child out of us? The pure innocence. When you watch a child play, Do you see that interaction with the world? Pure beauty.
Pure, I'm so fortunate right now.
Untainted beauty, interaction with the world, the universe, possibly spirit world. You know that they still have dreams of their past life. Like, they're so connected, children, that, you know, we drown that inner child out of us pretty quick. But so we get put down for allowing that inner child to be in us as adults. So they drowned out our self-esteem for continuing to keep that inner child and that light in us as an adult, and want to have that connection to the universe. And to
I feel sorry for for the young boys today, because, you know, I was hearing a story the other day. They're punishing this guy's kid for being hyperactive in school. So they make him go see a counselor. The counselor says you need to be on Ritalin, and if you don't take the Ritalin, you can't come back to school because you're disruptive. What? So you're going to make my 10-year-old a speed addict? Like, next the vaccine's going to come, but I just I feel sorry for
disruptive.
You know, especially male kids today, because they've got all this energy and they don't let them burn it off.
No,
you know,
every report card I had said Ryan is a disruption.
4 hours outside exercising and an hour inside learning after they burnt off all the stuff, because you can't get to their mind if they've got all this energy. And you know, girls don't suffer that as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just not as prevalent.
Yeah, so it's a, I don't know, man, adulthood, and I think this COVID thing, like I said, blessing and curse, you know. I think I'm not the only one who's hitting milestones and crossroads in this COVID thing and coming to places where they're finding out who they really are. Like all I try to do today is I get up, get out of my own way, stay out of it, and be where my feet are. And that is like literally my goals every day. And man, my days go easier. They really do.
Be where my feet are.
That's my next album. Be where your feet are.
That's like being present to what you're doing in the moment.
That's it, man.
Yeah, there's a big, movement about that now. They say, like, even what do they call it, mindfulness. Like, when you're eating, you shouldn't be reading, you shouldn't be talking, you shouldn't be fidgeting. You're concentrating and celebrating the blessed nature of this religious. This is a religious experience, eating food. Yeah. You know, I know it's meant to be, I think as humans, we're supposed to share food with others. And that's like, I don't cook for myself. Mindful of I get a girlfriend comes over, I'll make the biggest, like, I don't, like, you know, I'll do a bacon and egg sandwich for me. Mindful of the fact that she prepared that, mindful of the labor of that. Be mindful of those flavors on your palate. Be mindful of all that. Don't be mindful of everything else that's going on around you. There's two mindfuls. Full with two L's. Your mind is full of every shitty thing that's going on, or be mindful of and be mindful of everyone around you who's eating, right? Be present with them. That is correct. That's a beautiful thing, what you said, being mindful versus being mindful. And being mindful of others. Like right now, me and you, I'm just here with you, man. I am not thinking about the two or three other things I got coming today. I'm just here with you. And that is honestly, like, I got a little bit caught up today. I started to think and rehearse. Oh, yeah. Rehearsal doesn't work here too well. No, thank you, man. Then I just said, when you're doing a show with a guy that does not rehearse or practice anything, you bring a script in here, it's be too lopsided.
I would rather do this because I'm very much the same way, because rehearsal is just a fakery. And again, we wear masks out there so much that I'd rather do this. Why come in here and do the same fuckery that you do out on the street? Oh, hello.
And that's pretty fitting. The first thing I said,
red zone us. Okay.
First thing I said to you when I opened the door is, "Oh man, Lunn, how are you, man? Good to see you. And I'm glad you're not wearing a mask." Because, you know, this metaphorical mask that we all wear to look good, you know, how far we go out of our way to not be embarrassed publicly and not look bad in public. We all just want to look good. So a lot of times we'll throw this mask on, we'll throw this mask on, and throw this mask on. You know, I'm as human as the next guy, but I want to spend as much time without my mask, so that and that makes you so vulnerable that it lets your guard and your armor down, so you're vulnerable against weapons, right? But, you know, and I haven't got there yet to the place where, you know, people that say they don't care what other people think are liars, because we all care what other people think. people think that I don't care what other people think. People think that I like to rattle cages and cause trouble and create a disturbance. No, I actually run from that kind of stuff. But what's more important to me in the sphere of like a talk radio show or politics or whatever, I just can't not speak truth. Like what I believe is truth, right? I could be corrected all that time, but
really like
there's nothing sexier.
There's too much.
There's nothing more engaging that somebody that bears their, especially a man, I think, because women are better at this. So I think it's more uncommon for men. So when people see men bearing their souls, and like I saw this guy online, he was 500 pounds, and his goal was to lose like 200 or something like this. Well, he put everything out there. He like I'm a drug addict.
Yep.
I'm a food addict. I'm 300 pounds overweight, and this is the day it all changes. And just letting you guys know, you should have seen the support that he had. It was unbelievable. And for humans, it's so hard for us to see. You know what? Forget how good I look on Facebook. Yeah. I'm really struggling, and here's how. And this is what you're doing right now without even actually knowing it. Is really getting vulnerable. Yeah. Somebody's going to watch this and go, what the fuck? That's my story. Yeah, you mean that's okay to talk about that? It's okay?
Like 2 months ago, I totally changed. And like nothing changes. I just changed my life totally. Just changed it. And I'm, I don't know. I don't want to say I walk with God now. That's pretty, that sounds like I'm, I'm saved. But I mean, I do. I really am more when I get up, I try to be more right with who I am,
Well, I think when you say God, I think people get, whoa, dude, I'm not a Christian. I don't do that.
It doesn't matter what you consider.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think
by you, I mean people, whoever's, and of course, I don't mind if you take offense because somebody's going to take offense to every single thing on the planet.
But if you replace the word love with God, or God, it's the same thing, right? It's
exactly.
God is love, and
so that's what I mean.
You want to live in love, or you want to live on God's path.
So what I said to you was
doing the loving things. Not
I got
so
dark that I was so devoid of love because I couldn't love myself.
Right.
So what I mean is so I walk with love today. I walk with love, and that means it's in the decisions and the thoughts I have. So I just can't believe how much more loving I am the way I think and behave towards my Jill, towards my kids, towards my friends, towards my music. I was hating my own music.
Self-loathing.
God, I hated everything.
Josh Mills, I love you both. We love you too, my brother. Thanks for listening. He's probably driving Josh a truck too. Somewhere.
That's another solid guy who takes care of his family.
So many solid dudes, and we forget that.
So many solid dudes.
You get
and these
isolated.
are the guys that when you get to a place where you're good with you, and you'll find the dudes that are like, yeah, man, you be you, and you tell them, hey, man, this is me. This is what I've been going through. You'll find like solid dudes that are like, I hear you, man. What are you doing next week? Yeah. Like they don't care. You are people like
this has
real
been a
friend.
really divisive time, and it's been a divisive. How do you say it? I've been separated from many friends and family that I thought were with me the whole way along, and guys like Mills and MJ and Scotty and stuff like that. And there's some of them that write me the Dear John letters on the way out of my Facebook friendship. The before they unfriend me, they write me one of these big Dear John letters on my wall, like why I'm such a piece of shit, basically, and why they're better than me, and why they should basically that's what they're saying. Sure. And God bless guys like Josh Mills and Chris Curry. Chris Curry, I said to him the other day, I'm like, dude, like, here's what I'm working on. I'd love to include you in it. Yeah. If you're still good with me. He's like, dude, I love you still. Like, we don't see eye to eye politically. It's on the COVID and the mask or whatever, but they don't care. No. It's never a topic. But some of the people have absolutely removed themselves from my life because they feel like being associated with me somehow tarnishes their reputation or something. Why? Because I speak truth or I speak what I believe. So this has been a challenging time.
Yeah.
But I'm Paul Brady. There's another guy I don't know too well, but interact with him a few
I don't know
times
why we are, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty of being a guy. I played sports all my life. And I stopped around 33. And you know what happened is I got into theater and I channeled all that into music, arts, blah, blah, blah. And that competitive edge went into the wrong shit. And into relationships and music and art and theater and terrible. I look back at all of it and it was so wonderful for me, but I always had this competitive edge in me that I should have left that shit back. And unfortunately, I don't have that. I didn't keep on that part of my life. That circle of guy friends and going to the bars and cheering for my Bills and sitting there. I was having breakfast with Jill the other morning and I'm listening to this guy sitting there with his friends with his football jersey going, our team's linebacker, we got injuries. No wonder we lost this and our quarterback this. And I'm sitting there going, our this and we're this. Will you play on this? Our this and our, and I think
that's
about
how
how
I talk.
I know how people take such ownership of their sports teams, and it's like our this and we're that.
I heard somebody say the other day, you know what? Sports is a distraction for good men to keep them off the path that they should be on. And I'm like, dude. Yeah. I'm all for it. Thank you. I need that distraction.
But what I mean is that, so they're channeling that competitiveness, right? Right? They're channeling it because they aren't playing like 4 sports like they were in a kid. They're playing soccer in the summer and baseball, and then they're playing hockey. I didn't channel all that competitiveness properly, right? So I never had those channels. And unfortunately, I'm able to realize these things now. I haven't touched booze in almost 2 months. It's been real eye-opening. I'll tell you that. I tell you, if you want to breed illness in you, you keep pouring alcohol onto a fire. I'll tell you that. That will keep you dark and conflicted.
Funny, I just had this. I'm not a huge drinker when it comes to the number of days out of the week that I drink. But when I drink, I drink. I usually drink festively, celebratory sometimes. Yeah, when I come off a big win, I'll look for a drink. But then I drink, and then I'm unwell the next day. And then it takes me longer and longer and longer to get back. Used to recover from a hangover like this, but I was sitting across from a buddy the other day.
Acceptance.
We're having a heart-to-heart, having a few too many drinks, and he goes, you know what? This right here. We got into the God conversation. I've never gone there with this guy. Good friend of mine. And like a bad man that's, a good man, like a controlled monster that is a good man out in public, but you don't want to mess with this guy.
I know.
And he pointed at his beer and he says, dude, if I just stay away from this, in 2 days, my life's getting exponentially better. And if I stay, he says, if I want to be having a good life, all I got to do is stay off this. But I love it so much, like
there's a reason they brought it back.
Dude, thank you, because I'm hearing your message now, because I respect this guy's opinion.
Well, you can't say love. We'll use the word love. When you can't get right with love, when you have that, a lot of that, like I'm not going to turn this into you're bad if you drink. For me, I don't have a very good off switch. I don't, I don't. That's all there is to it.
Pedal to the floor.
I will like I told you when I was a kid, I was going to push the envelope. I'm going to do that with everything you're going to give me, because I didn't get and understand who I was. So I'm always putting things into me and changing the chemicals of different, changing who I was, trying to figure out who I was till, eventually by accident, you're just falling into it. You're caught up. You're addicted now. Whatever it is, it's changing your chemistry, all that good stuff.
Yep.
But what I found was this year that I was doing damage that I wasn't coming back from. So that is not a good place to fall into. And enough was enough.
Dude, we've been going an hour.
We are.
We haven't even hardly touched on the music yet.
Yeah,
right?
I don't even have to talk about my music.
This is cathartic. Really. Is that what they call it? Therapeutic?
Yeah, man. Always good to get honest and just be.
I love it.
I gotta really use the washroom. But do you want to? Do you break and then do a music?
Yeah. Let's do that. I'm gonna play.
And then I'll play a tune.
I'm gonna play
for
some
the audience.
M Factor here. Matt McPherson.
Okay.
He used to work with G3. Mikey, remember Matt?
Way back.
Yeah. He gave me this music because it's copyright free, so I can use it.
Beautiful.
So, guys, this song is about... oh, my gosh. What's this? Oh, this is not it. This is the Jim Fannon Show.
Yeah,
I don't want to be playing the Jim Fannon Show. Okay.
I'll get
Jim
set
Fannon
up.
Show live.
You'll set me up?
Yeah. So 5 minutes.
Yeah, let me have a quick...
All right. We're going to be back 5 minutes here, crew.
I'll quickly, on the mic before I play it, I'll talk about this song.
All right.
Especially up here. Yeah.
Let's see our first unexpected commercial break. You know, when your guy says to you, "I need to go to the bathroom," and I'm just gonna do that right now. You switch to where's downloads. I'm gonna play a song here for you. 5 minutes. Hope you guys will stick around for the rest of it, and then we're gonna come back with Ryan to play some music. Where is this? M Factor. Well, maybe... I think it's in here. This will be it. It's just the beginning of an old show I think I used as intro music, so maybe I played over and over. So enjoy. We'll come right back with Ryan Lunn to play some music. What the hell did I do that for? Stupido. I'm trying really hard here, guys. It's not working so well. My guest caught me off guard. Jim Fannon Show, is this it? No, Zoom style. Okay, M Factor here. Let's try this again. One more time, okay, kids? Hurry up. Ooh, yeah, we're... My camera's still up. Oh, shoot. Okay. We're right back, kids.
Yeah. Oh.
We're live, brother.
We're live. Welcome back to the gym.
Pull the mic up, man.
What is that?
Pull the mic up.
Closer?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Jim Fannon Show. Jim Fannon.
I love this.
Yes.
This is my favorite.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to play a song called California. And I was 18. My granddad gave me this old acoustic guitar that he found in his basement. And he had a workshop, and he was repairing fiddles and violins. And he never played guitar, really. He played everything else, but he never played an acoustic guitar. So he said, here, maybe you'll start playing and do something with this. And I said, huh. So I learned, I learned how to play a G and a C and a Texas G and a Texas C, and I was off.
I got D down.
Yeah,
I got a whole song written in D and D minor.
Whatever it was, So what I did was, I don't know what happened, but I know I really got into Bruce Springsteen. So I got into some Bruce. I started writing some songs, and I wrote this song called California. And this was the very first song I ever put together at 18 or 19 years old. From start to finish, I was so proud of it. It's the same damn chords all the way through it, but I'll tell you what. I'm 45, so okay. So let's say 27 years ago I wrote this song. This year I'm gonna record it for real, and it. I feel like I want it to be in tune. We want it to be in tune, don't we?
Please stand by for this technical difficulty, this break.
There it is. That was just that key, the B. There it is. There it is, see? Well, you don't have that B string in. It all goes to shit. All right.
Okay. Recording now, too, man.
Song's called California, and it's about coming back to find that person you left behind. For me, this song now means about coming back to God, maybe, or to love, or to whatever. But
Spirit.
Coming back to the spirit. station at my back. I'm coming back to California. Yeah, coming back to find you.
Dude, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I was just an 18-year-old boy trying to be Bruce Springsteen, you know?
Yeah, well done, man.
And of course, everybody has a going to California. Even if Wave has one, then I'm allowed to have one. Shout out to Paul.
Yeah. Local celebrities.
Yeah.
Wave,
yeah, actually,
man, that's a long time ago.
I just was at a pawn shop. I religiously still seek and buy CDs all over the place. Yeah. And I just grabbed a CD from an old project of his, and some of the Niagara Falls Italian boys. I believe they were called Heart and Sound. Have you heard of that?
No.
I know Paul was involved, and some of the local musicians. But how shall we send this off?
Well, just let everyone know where you can find you. We can do this right now, actually.
Yeah.
Zoom display. Here's Ryan Lunn on Facebook. This is the Ryan Lunn Music
Ryan Lunn
page.
Music. Of course, Spotify, iTunes,
Instagram. Here we go. I'm following
YouTube,
you now.
Instagram.
Ryan Lunn Music, RyanLunn.com.
Yeah, I'll be releasing a couple new songs in January with my side project, Lunn the Influence. I'll also be releasing a new song in January with Rafiq.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
We're putting a song out together. It's gonna be really cool. Jumping in the studio soon with Chris Curry,
nice.
Josh Mills. We're gonna be putting some stuff together. I'm gonna be writing a song with a guy out in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, country song. I got a lot of things, and again, it's just I'm gonna get out of my own way and just see where God takes me this year. It's gonna be good.
Oh boy. Maybe just on the I don't do this very often, but give me an intro. Just say I'm Ryan Lunn, and we're here on the Jim Fannon Show.
I'm gonna do it while we're both not talking over each other. Right? All right. Ready? You give me the point.
Okay. Let's get a tighter shot of your crotch. There you are.
All right.
Okay. And oh wait. I'm going to switch it on. There you are, all by yourself.
I love it. I'm Ryan Lunn, and you're here on the Jim Fannon Show.
See? That's how we do this, kids.
That's how we do it.
Thank you, my brother. I'm really glad we did this, man. I love you. This is very therapeutic for me, and I'm glad to have you in.
Let's do it every couple months. Let's have a check-in, and please get hold of me so I can come and...
Yeah, dude. Okay, so we jam here once in a while. Whenever we get the crew together, Scotty and MJ, and everyone's welcome, but a lot of people are scared to leave the house these days. So, all right, we're signing out. Here's where you find my boy. Over here one more time. Instagram, Facebook, Facebook page, Instagram, and RyanLunn.com. My
Dandelions of Courage.
Sit down there again for me, buddy.
Sure.
There's so we can go out with your face on. My brother, I love you. I'm glad we did this, and look forward to the next time we... Oh, there we go. I had the wrong cut up there. Look forward to the next time we blast off, and thanks for being vulnerable and open about your life. I'm
more
hoping
people need to, connect. Sometimes we got to break the walls down for people to connect.
I often get done... I had Frank Soda on last night. He's a legend to me.
Yeah.
Yesterday, and I remember when Dan O'Shea was here.
Another guy knows tons of stuff and wants to cut through the bullshit as well.
And just a great mentor and a solid guy from the standpoint of
and sober.
Mentoring people in sobriety too. That's so important and open about it.
A guy I'll probably
but I've got G. Sharp Yahia. Here, he's running the controls for me. There was hardly any controls to run back then, but I get done with Dano. We walk him out the door, and G is a huge fan, and I think that Dano's mentored him extensively from the business end of things and put him together with people at the right time and stuff. And G's just so grateful, and I end up going, "Oh, that was great, but what the fuck am I doing this for again? Like, really? Does it make a difference for anyone?" Yeah. And G goes, "Well, you made a difference for me today, man. That was awesome. I was really glad to be here." So my hope is that, through these conversations, that somebody's watching and they go, "Oh, it's okay to talk about this. It's okay to feel like this. Oh, I've got that, or I understand this." And so I'm always hopeful that somebody says,
"Come here and do the same old shit with you." To be honest with you, but because I'm beyond that at this point, because they can go and do those basement stoner ones where they're all baked and they're just like, "Yeah, man, we're me and you got a little more going on up here, so we're gonna have some heart to hearts, and we're gonna, we can make it so that if someone does take that time, and it is very hard to get anyone to take a moment, I find when I open up and I talk real, people end up, I get messages that are like, "I watched and I'm like, "You watched the whole hour?" They go, "Yeah, I couldn't stop watching it." Because they're like, "Holy fuck." People just want to connect with something real. They don't even care if they don't agree with you anymore. So get over all that shit about, well, you're going to, I don't, if people didn't agree with you, they just wanted it real. They'd rather disagree with you, but get it real from you than not know where someone's at and agree maybe with them, but they're not really sure who they are.
You're off the mic, dude.
Am I still on the air?
Yeah, you're on the air.
I thought we were off. But the fact is at least people know where you're coming from. They know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, and that's worth something. It's better than people not knowing what, you know.
Ryan Lunn, everyone, full of love and gratitude from
Today.
me and from him. Check us next time. I don't have any more guests coming up.
Be where your feet are.
Be where your feet are. Be present. Peace, love, hug your neighbor, and why don't you take that dirty, stinky diaper off your face? It's not working.